It might be turned off.
Alright, here's our brisket. And selecting a brisket, the first thing you want to do is get a good one with a lot of fat. Fat is the key to all brisket juiciness. You can see this thing is about 16 to 18 inches long. It's a fairly wide hunk of meat. Right? It's not a little bitty old corned beef thing. It's pretty thick. If you look at it from the side, it looks like it's something that you would like to eat. As you can see, this is a Target brisket. You can see the price. $2.39 a pound and a 10-pound brisket. That's about the right size. You get them 10 to 12 pounds, I guess. You have to adjust your cooking time however you need it to be. Alright, here's a step to not forget. You have to make the rub. Emerald's Original Essence with a little bit of brown sugar. It's actually a 3-to-1 recipe. So 3 parts emeralds, 1 part brown sugar. Mix it up and rub it all over the meat. Right now the brisket is thawing. You want to get that baby to room temperature before you open it up and rinse it off and trim it just a little bit, and then coat it with that rub. Alright, I've got the brown sugar and the emeralds in the bucket. Mix it up good. Get it all dispersed throughout there well. And make a good rub. Alright, I've just seasoned the entire brisket. Top and bottom. Trimmed off a little of the fat. I like the fat side to be as fatty as it can be. But then I like the opposite side to not have any fat on it at all. So I've got the grill going. It's heating up. The smoker's heating up. The brisket is rubbed down. Now it's time for a beer. A nice Fireman's 4. Next thing we're going to do is get it out on the grill and start smoking. Alright, just getting the grill ready. Just the regular old firebox smoker. It's got a spot in there for the water, for some type of a juice catcher and a steam maker. I just leave my other utensils. There's some rib hanging things and chicken stuff, but just get it all ready to go. I like to use the electric grill starter. Get that thing nice and hot and pull that electric out. I don't have an electric all the time, so I'm just going to use this to smoke. Using some of that lump charcoal for a lot of heat. Alright, I've just now transferred. I got the grill up. It was up about 250 degrees. Got it cooking good. Got my water bucket in the bottom. Got my well seasoned brisket. The key to that brisket, well, not the key, important part, fat side up. For the first 5 hours, we're going to cook it with the fat side up. It's going to let all them juices, all that fat drip through the meat out the bottom. So now we're just going to maintain for about 5 hours worth of smoke. I got some wood chips ready to go. Smoke the crap out of it. Alright, here we've got some wood chunks. I like to soak some in water. I also like to get some, got a bag of them here. I like to get some right out of the bag. You know, it's not going to smoke for very long, so we'll go through. We'll just try to pour as much smoke to it in that time frame as we can. We'll put both a mixture of the water soaked ones and the non-water soaked ones. To get as much smoke in there as we can in about 4 or 5 hours. I just got done putting the meat on. Now I've thrown a bunch of wood in there to get that smoke coming out. You can see it's coming from around the side, out the top. It's chugging along good. If I can keep it like that for a couple hours, that'd be wonderful. Have a good nice smoke ring inside there. Alright, we are 4 hours in. Got a temperature there, 225, looking good. Got the damper partially closed. Get that damper open. See what she looks inside. Oh, we got a little flame. Let's throw us in. Throw us in a smoking chip. Alright, just keep it going. Alright, brisket has just come off the grill. Still fat side up. Got it in a roasting pan. Smells really good if you had smell-o-vision. It is 8 o'clock. However, I didn't cook it very hot the whole time. So it's probably going to need another 12 hours or so. So I will kick it on high when I go to bed. Alright, I'm going to wrap it, cover it in foil, and do the easy part. Stick it in the oven at 225 degrees for about 12 hours. Alright, brisket just came off the oven. You can see it's sitting in its juices. There's a lot of them there. It's still got a good crust to it. Alright, so I stick my fork in it and just twist it to see what kind of resistance is down in there. And there's very little. So it's done.
So stick a fork in it because it's done.
Now I'm going to let it cool off before I slice it. I just put it up on a rack above my pan. That way it's up out of the juice, but I can save the juice. Because when I go and slice it and put it back in the pan, I'm going to have enough juice to it.
Save the juice. Save the juice.
Dennis feeling spunky this morning. Alright, we've let the brisket cool. We had it on the rack, so it's kind of drained. We've kept all the juice, whatever you want to call it, grease, juice. Now what I'm going to do is take the top layer, it's still got the fat side up here. I'm going to trim that fat away from the meat so that what we slice up is not all fatty. Okay, so I've actually just scraped off the fat off the top, and you can see the grain of the meat. Then I cut it. I cut the meat right along that line there. What happens is that on the big tall side, there's actually 2 layers of meat with a layer of fat scrunched in the middle. So I cut the short side right along that line. And what that does is that this piece here is really good, ready to go. This piece I need to separate it at that fat line, and we'll have a bottom layer and a top layer. The bottom layer is the best. Well, I changed my mind, and I'm not going to slice it. That way I think it'll stay as juicy as possible. I just cut it into about 3 or 4 pieces. Scraped most of the fat. It's good looking stuff. I've tasted it. It tastes good. Much better than what we did Thanksgiving. You can see it's got that red ring of smoke kind of around the edges and on the bottom. And, when you get it, all you need to do is cut it across the grain, in about 1/2 inch slices, 3/8 of an inch to 1/2 inch thick slices, and it ought to be lovely.